Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Diamond for Monday, May 15th, 2017. This is John Lavenia calling in live from Utah, where I am having an awesome day, a busy day, as it is every Monday. I hope you guys have been busy as well. Personally, I'd rather be busy than bored, and there is no lack of activity going on here inside our Digital Altitude online marketing community. I did just now get to hear from many new voices who are just joining us on the Black Diamond for the first time. And for those of you who listen to this on the podcast, welcome to you as well. It's always great to get the reviews and the acknowledgement, for the various people that we bring out here on our live call and webinar series. So what we're doing here, in case you are new, I'd like to tell you this call is a little bit different in the way that it's longer than a wake-up call where we typically go 15 minutes or so. This call is where you're going to get insights and you're going to get straight talk from people who have made it to the top, hence the name, the Black Diamond. For all you skiers out there and snowboarders, you know what that means. That's expert-level stuff, and so we get to hear from experts each week on this call. And sometimes I interview myself. Sometimes I'm the guest speaker. And tonight we've got an awesome guest speaker who I've gotten to know over the past few years and who is a seven-figure producer here inside the online marketing community and profession. Before we get to that, though, what I like to suggest is that as you listen to this call and any of our calls, see how you can use these ideas and actually put them to work in your business. It's one thing for us to share what we think, and of course we think that we're very smart and that's all wonderful. And yes, we've got great results. That's nice, but what helps you is you putting this stuff to use. Yes, education is for use, not just for entertainment value, as entertaining as we'd like to think we are. Secondly is kind of sometimes we have loose filters on this call, so take what you like and leave the rest. And of course, if we say anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just the way we roll. And I think with that, I don't have any other announcements, so we're just going to get right into it. And tonight we're going to be talking about, or today, depending on what time zone you're in, we are going to be talking about what it takes to go from brand new to top earner. So like the fastest route to doing that. In other words, zero to hero. It's a journey. And we've talked about this from various angles and various perspectives, with different people that we've had on this call and our other calls as well. And quite often we see people who come into any new endeavor, whether it's a sport or whether it's a business or anything of note, anything that requires a bit of expertise, a bit of unusual effort, right? In other words, it's not like eating your breakfast. You actually got to think about this, right? Every time we have something like that I've noticed throughout my life, there are people who want to go fast, and that's a lot of people that want to go fast, right? Because after all, now in this case we're talking about business, it's a lot more fun to make money fast than it is to make it slow, right? Despite what your broke friends may say about get-rich-quick schemes or whatever. Well, look, there's only one way to get rich, and that's quick. The alternative is to make money slow and be broke like everybody else. So what we're actually talking about is accelerating the process of you acquiring money. Because I believe anybody can make $1 million. The only question is, how long is that going to take? Well, a lifetime, maybe, a year, maybe. Some people do it in a month. My goodness, some people do it in a week, right? They're called billionaires. So think about that. What we're talking about is accelerating the process and doing it not in a hectic fashion, but doing it with haste, not not beating around the bush, right? I don't think anybody came here into this segment of the home-based and online business profession looking to just make a few extra $100 or something, right? There's plenty of opportunities, low-ticket stuff, and little things you can do to make a little extra money to pay your electric bill and stuff like that. By the way, millions of people do that. Millions of people do that. Millions of people play small. And sometimes it's a mystery to them why the results are small. It's remarkable, actually. Little effort, little commitment, little decisions, little results. What do we mean little results? Yeah, it's congruent. Yeah, little results. Right? So what we're talking about is getting bigger results and doing it at the outset. In other words, regardless of what you're starting from right now, whether you've already had some business experience or this is your first entrepreneurial venture, you just decided yesterday that you are dissatisfied with the circumstances at your job or whatever you're doing to support yourself at this time. Okay, great. This is a big game that you can play. It's a big game, it's a fun game, and it's a highly profitable game. And I will just say before I turn it over to Alex that I have run multiple businesses. I run multiple companies now. I'm a busy guy. And despite my experience and having written a book and doing seminars and all the stuff that I've done, I have never seen the results in terms of, yes, cash flow, money, profitability. I've never seen anything that can match what we've got here in top-tier direct sales, and of course, the advantages that we have here with the Digital Altitude brand of that is unfair, just an unfair advantage, which is exactly why I think everybody's here, because you want an unfair advantage. That's what I like to do with my coaching students. I want everybody to have an unfair advantage in the marketplace. Okay, this is something that can pay you very richly when you play your cards right, when you know what you're doing, and you're playing to win. Playing to win. So we're going to talk about that tonight with my buddy Alex, who is here all the way from New York. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing awesome. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man. You sound great. Great to hear your voice.
Glad to hear, John. Thanks for the introduction and welcome everybody. I'm just calling from vacation house in the mountains, getting ready for the summer. Opening the pool, and it's really my privilege to be co-hosting this Black Diamond call, where we have, with all the replays, with the podcasts you're putting up, John. Thousands and thousands of members are watching and listening to this stuff. So I want to provide value to you guys. I want to provide, things that you can take home and apply in your business and take your business to the next level. I know we have a lot of new people here. I've been on this calls when I was a newbie, when I was just starting out, and I wasn't sure, I wasn't confident, I didn't know what to do, and you might be in the same shoes, but the difference is between me and you is that you're in the right place because you have a system that's pretty much done for you from A to Z, right? Just like my initials, Alex Zubarev, from A to Z. This system is pretty much done for you, and there's a lot of leverage that you should be tapping into, and we'll talk about that later. I want to, talk about my story, my journey from zero to here, if you will, how I came to this country, without speaking a word of English, with $10 in my, I don't remember left or right pocket, but that's all I had, $10 in cash. Had a big dreams, and came to this land of opportunity, right? This country called United States of America, and got stuck in the rat race. Landed my first corporate and my last corporate job I ever had. When I was finally able to go full time in this incredible industry, guys. Some of you guys don't realize how incredible what this business could be for you and the lifestyle you can achieve, obviously, if you really focus like a laser, right? So quick story. Came to this country, got really, obviously I didn't speak English, so I went through a lot of odd jobs, shoveling snow in New York City, for $5 an hour, stuff like that, until I landed my first corporate job. I used to work for, some of you guys know, Time Magazine, one of the publishing companies, Fortune Magazine, Sports Illustrated, and I got stuck in the rat race, comfortable living, living paycheck to paycheck pretty much, but, all my friends and family were like, man, Alex, you made it, you made it. And I'm like, a couple years go by, another couple years go by, and I feel stuck, and then some miracle happens, right? My daughter arrives in this world, right? And now everything changes, right? Now I need to figure out, how to buy new furniture for the bedroom for my daughter. I need to figure out how to get that extra stuff that comes with the babies, right? And I realized, man, my salary is not increasing. I'm stuck at the same income level. For New York, it's not bad, but still, how expensive New York is, right? Then I become all of a sudden open-minded about, other ways of making money. I jump on eBay. I start, selling stuff on eBay. Probably never shared that story. But one day, it was nothing crazy. It was okay. It was just supplemental income, But one day, when we were just having coffee, me and my wife Anna, some of you guys know Anna Z. We're just having coffee and just realizing that we're stuck in life. She has a corporate job. I have a corporate job, and we're living paycheck to paycheck. Cannot travel that much. Some of you guys know that, right? If you have a job, you only get like maybe 1 week or 2 weeks of vacation. I was actually fortunate enough to have some kind of a cushy job where I had 4 weeks of vacation. But guess what? I didn't have extra money to travel, right? So we would just stay home in an apartment, in Brooklyn and just, watch TV pretty much. That was our vacation, if you can call it that. But one night, we were back to that cup of coffee. We're just having coffee, and all of a sudden, a friend of mine calls me, Alex, are you home? I'm like, sure, man, I'm home. Come on over. So he brings another friend who brings a bottle of wine. That's what I thought, but it wasn't wine. And it was actually fruit juice. Okay, it was some of you guys know. Maybe that company doesn't matter at this point. It was back in 2008. But I was ready, man. I got excited. I was like, what? He shows me brochure. He shows me, all the Lamborghinis, all the Ferraris, all the mansions, and I got sold, man. I got sold on the dream. I'm like, this is what I need to do. And he tells me, all I need to do is bring 2 people, and they bring 2 people, and they bring 2 people, right? And then I become rich, right? That's how I become financially independent from my job, right? So I sign up the next day. I go all in, right? I buy all the products. I buy, I don't know how many cases of water I sign up for. I think it was like 2 cases every month, whatever it was, And then I'm like, well, I don't know how to market, right? I'm a newbie. So ignorance on fire, I go crazy. I go after my wife's relatives because she has a big family. So I pitch everybody. I give them bottles. I share the product. People get excited. Man, it tastes good. But how much does it cost? What? $45 a bottle? We can buy a bottle of vodka. Maybe I should speak with Russian accent. That would be more fun. We can buy a bottle of vodka for $45. And that dream started drifting away when I realized that people not as excited as I am. Can you relate to that? I don't know if Digital Ops is your first company you're promoting. If you've done any traditional network marketing in the past, and you were excited about whatever the coffee product you were promoting or some electrical company or whatever it was, people just not as excited as you are, right? When you talk to them, when you do those crazy 3-way calls, you do home presentations, people come to your house, strangers in your bed, hopefully not in the bedroom, but in your living room, and people just don't get the message. They don't see the vision that you have, right? Can you relate to that? So that's what I was. I was chasing everybody, man, anybody that I knew, make a list of friends or family, who was your mailman in your previous address, stuff like that. Who was your, teacher, who was your math teacher, go back to school and invite them to opportunity, right? That type of deal. I was willing to do whatever it takes, because I saw the light. I saw the light in the end of the tunnel. I'm going to make it happen, right? Well, a month goes by, I'm still excited, but people are not. People, canceling order ship. People, stop ordering the product. People won't return my phone calls. Can you relate to that? That's a traditional way of building network marketing business, right? Especially if you have small commissions on physical products, maybe you make 5% commissions, maybe 2%. I don't know, if you're pushing Amazon products, you make maybe 1%, 2%, Here we have, 60% payout. This is crazy, over 3 tiers. So I built one of the biggest teams in digital altitude project Apex. So I think we have probably the most duplication when it comes to that, because I like to use leverage of the compensation plan. I like to use leverage of the systems. I love our coaches, leverage of our coaches. That makes, like who here wants to work 2 hours a day? That's what I do, right? 2 hours a day, send a couple of emails, reply to messages on Facebook, and people usually say, hey, Alex, give me your link. I'm ready to sign up. Hey, Alex, I want to go Apex. What do I need to do? Stuff like that. Who would want to be in that position, right? So back to my story of struggle, right? So I basically spoke to every single friend that I knew, right? I basically spoke to every acquaintance that was in my phone book. And then I realized I have nobody else to talk to, right? What do I do next? I'm stuck. Stuck is not fun. I had this dream to go full-time, to quit my job, to stay home, and work from my laptop. And now it's kind of like that light is basically like dimming, right? It's like dimming away. It's becoming less visible. And, back in 2008, there was no trainings like this. There was no like YouTubers with giant channels with all the training and value, with all those traffic strategies. There was no people doing Facebook Lives and sharing stuff that works. There was no Twitter, right? There was no Facebook. Was there Facebook 2008? Might have been. But it wasn't as popular, right? There was no one was sharing anything. Honestly, like there was almost impossible to find any training. Now you have too much training, right? Now it's like the other side of the coin. You have too much of the training, and you really need to focus on the stuff that you need to learn. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy, right? Trying to learn every single platform, how to drive traffic, how to generate leads and sales. So back in the day, it was tough, man. So I jumped on Google, that website. I don't know if you heard about it. It's actually free, and you can type in, stuff, and it gives you answers. It's pretty cool. It doesn't question you, back. It actually gives you answers and information you're looking for. So I typed in how do I generate leads online, right? How do I generate sales online? And I came across some training products. Back in the day was some of you guys probably remember Mike Dillard, and he's still pretty big in the industry. Some of you guys call him Godfather of Attraction Marketing. So I learned a lot from him. So he was my first virtual mentor, right, if you will. I got every single product from him. I bought everything, and I went into the study mode. Can you relate to that? I got stuck in the study mode for like 6 months, not doing anything, just studying, buying courses one after another, not creating any content, not sending any emails, not posting any videos. I'm a student. I got stuck in the student mode. And then I realized, man, if I'm going to be just doing that, I'm just going to go deeper and deeper into the hole, right? I'm just going to rack up more credit card debt and not going to create any sales, right? Because the previous business model failed on me, or I failed. I don't know. I was consistent. I was willing to do whatever it takes. But, hey, three-way calls and hotel meetings is not for everybody. Right? I only know a few people in the industry that love convincing people on the phone, right? Especially prospects. But here, guess what? We got professional six-figure and seven-figure coaches working for us, right? You don't have to pay them, right? They only get paid if they make a sale, right? So you have to realize how crazy is that, how simpler of a job you have now, right? All you have to do is drive traffic, right? You have to figure out the traffic. You have to position yourself for success, because you don't want to, drive traffic when you're only a basic member, right? Because the high-ticket commission is going to go to your sponsor, right? Your Apex sales, your peak sales, Ascent sales, Rise sales. I mean, can't wait to see you guys in Dominican Republic in 2 weeks. Speaking of the lifestyle, but you really need to position yourself for success. That's why you need to talk to your coaches. But your job is simple, right? Your job is very, very simple. All you do is drive trial members, right? And you edify the coaches, and you pass the microphone, if you will, right? You just pass the microphone back to the coach and let them do all the talking. You don't have to convince anybody. You don't have to explain anybody. Anytime you get a question, man, this is what you do. You tell them, Mr. Prospect or Mrs. Prospect, this is a really great question. But you know what? My coach can answer it so much better than I can because he is training me and he will be training you. So that's how you answer those questions, and you send them back to the coaches, right? So now your job becomes a lot easier. So some of you guys try to explain way too much, and in this industry, if you give people too much information, they become more confused, and they don't take any action. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from my experience. Less is more. Don't give them too much information. Edify the coaches and send them back to the coaches. So back to my story. Trying to keep myself on track, guys. So I bought every single product, right? I got stuck in a student mode, and my wife, is questioning my sanity at that point. She was like, "Are you crazy? Like, you keep buying all these products. You got this auto ships." Because I went, after my first network marketing company, I went into, I would say, MLM wars or something like that. I started joining every single company because I didn't realize the problem. Why I was not succeeding? It wasn't a compensation plan. It wasn't the products. It wasn't the company owner. It wasn't economy. It wasn't the president, right? It was me. It was me. All along, it was me. People join people, guys. You guys get that. People join people, not products, not companies. So this is what I learned, right, from Mike back in the day. And I started really developing myself, increasing my value, right? But again, increasing value is one thing, but you got to apply. You got to take action on what you learned, right? Don't be just a student of the trade. You actually have to go in the trenches and take action every day. It's your business, right? It's just like if you're a restaurant or you open brand spanking new McDonald's franchise or something like that, or like a sushi place, like we have so many of them in Brooklyn, right? You got to advertise, right? You got to advertise. Otherwise, there's going to be no customers, right? You got to have equipment in the store, in the restaurant. You got to have, people cooking for you, right? You got to have people that are cleaning the place. You have to have insurance, right? You have to have all million other things as a traditional business owner, as opposed to having a digital franchise where, man, you can't even compare this. Like in traditional franchise, right, such as Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, like in New York, it's at least, you got to buy the license and the franchise. It's like $1.5 million. You got to pay royalties to the company, probably another $200,000 a year. You got to hire employees. You got to have multiple insurances. Man, it's just crazy. I don't know why people do that. That's crazy. I mean, then you're stuck. It's worse than a job because you're working 80 hours a week, 7 days a week. You never see your family. You never see your kids, right? And maybe you'll become profitable in 2, 3, 4 years, right? So here, right, on the other side of the planet, if you will, we have it so much better. It's digital franchise in your laptop, right? My business is always with me, whether I'm in Hawaii like we went to, right? Whether I'm in Las Vegas, whether I'm on a plane with Wi-Fi, my business is always with me, right? You can't do that when you have a traditional franchise. So I'm sure you guys getting that. That's why you're here. I just wanted to really bring it home because a lot of people still confused why they need to buy products, why they need to position for success. And there are alternatives out there that cost a lot more money and a lot less profitable and a lot more painful. So you're in the right place. So anyways, back to my story again. Got stuck, man, until I started taking action. I listened to Mike, man. He's like, you gotta take massive action every day. And now I have all this negative self-talk going on. Well, I'm not native English-speaking person. English is not my primary language. I got no results in the industry. Who's gonna listen to me? Why should I be making videos when people are gonna be laughing at me, right? But then, you know what? I started subscribing to different people doing those videos, right, on YouTube, on other platforms that were popular back in the day. And I'm like, man, if they can do it, I got to do it. I just said, screw it, just do it. This is exactly what I said to myself. And I started doing those videos, and they sucked. Man, they sucked. Those first probably 20, 30 videos I did, they were just bad. You wouldn't want your kids to watch them probably, right? But anyways, that's a practice. That's how you become good, right, in anything. If you want to become a professional basketball player, well, you got to practice those, those shots every single day. You got to be training every single day. You got to be doing that stuff obsessively, right, every single day. Same thing goes with online business, with any skill. Whether you want to master Facebook, whether you want to master solo apps, whether you want to master Instagram or YouTube, right? There's so many platforms you can get traffic from, because it drives me crazy when people, and my coaching students as well, telling me, well, there's no traffic. Man, there's so much traffic out there. You just have to figure out how to tap into it and how to master conversions. And this is what we teach at our events, right? This is what we're going to teach at the peak event. We're going to have a lot of trainings in there, right? We're going to have like 5 days in there in the Paradise 5-star resort. I can't wait. It's in 2 weeks from now. So that's all you got to really do. You got to focus on traffic and conversions and edifying the coaches. Those 3 steps, guys. That's all you need to do, really. 3 steps, right? So if you're brand new, complete all of the steps with your coach, right? Then position for success and start driving traffic, right? And that's where the magic is going to happen to you. Because when I started Digital Altitude, guess what? I built another 7-figure business before that, right? Because I acquired the skills, right? The skills of the trade, how to drive traffic, right? How to build teams, right? How to become a leader by acquiring value from other people that were making more money than I do. And this is another takeaway tip for you. You gotta hang out with people that make more money than you do. Because if you're always gonna be hanging out with broke people or people at the same income level, right? Your average income is directly proportional to the 5 people you spend the most time with. So a lot of people say, well, Alex, how do I hang out with millionaires, right? How? You go to the live events. You go to the live events. That's where they're hanging out. That's where they're hanging out. Because I had all the excuses in the world not to go to my first event. And I postponed my success by 2 years. I wasted 2 years of my life after I got in that student mode. I started, buying courses, after another course, another course, another course, another course, another training. And I got stuck. Before I created my first video, I think it was like a year I was procrastinating. And then my virtual mentor told me, she said, my success did not officially start until I went to my first live event and I shook hands with the people I used to put on pedestal because I thought they were gods. They're not humans because the amount of money they're making, right? So this is exactly what happened. I repeated those steps, and I'm like, man, I really need to go to the first event. And I remember like it was yesterday, back in 2011, I believe, 2012, 2011. It was my birthday, and my wife did not support my business. I used to call a proud member of Skeptic Society because, hey, I could not expect her to believe in what I believed because, well, first of all, she was not in the industry. She was not buying the products. She was not going through them. She was not reading the books I was reading, right? Personal development books, business books. So I could not expect her to be on board, especially when I was not making any money. I was spending money. I was spending money like crazy on all the credit cards. I racked up over $85,000 in credit card debt, all right? But I was committed to do whatever it takes. I was willing to go through the brick wall in order for my kids to have better life in a better country where we are, right? As opposed to me. So this is the reason I came here, right? To build a better life for my family, for my kids, for my future generations. And I was willing to do whatever it takes, right? Man, you guys are blessed. Like, you have credit cards. Like, most of the people in the world, like, especially back in the day when I came from Soviet Union, we had no credit cards. We had no banks. You couldn't borrow the money you can borrow here. Some of you guys saying you don't have money. Man, no, it's your mindset that's limiting you from taking massive action and taking what's yours, right? Naming it and claiming it, right? Some of the people say. You got to expand your mind and see that every successful person you're putting on a pedestal, if you will, went through the same crap, went through the same challenges, same obstacles like you are going through. But they became resourceful, right? Instead of saying, I can't, they say, how can I? Instead of saying, oh, I don't have the money, they said, well, how can I acquire money? How do I use OPM, other people's money, right, concept? Every successful entrepreneur used OPM concept, using other people's money, right? I'm not talking about people, that, were born with silver spoon in the mouth. Maybe their parents were wealthy. I'm talking about every successful entrepreneur who started from zero, like I did, used other people's money. And in this country, you have so many options, it's crazy. It boggles my mind when my prospects tell me, oh, I have the money. No, you're not serious about your future. You're not serious about your family. You're not serious about changing your life. You're way too comfortable in the comfort zone. That's why you're saying you don't have the money. Because, you don't say that when you go to the store, you buy, grocery. You tell to the sales clerk, man, I don't have the money. What do I do? No, you buy it. So you don't see the value. You're not serious about changing your life. That's point blank. Maybe I'm speaking, some people will say, oh, I can't believe you just said that. Well, I just said that because that's exactly the truth. You're not serious about changing your life. That's why you're saying that. So back to my first event story. So I had all the excuses in the world. Was my birthday. I was afraid of flying planes. I had a phobia after 9/11, obviously, and my wife did not support me. My family did not, my mother did not support me, They were joking about all this stuff. And I said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it, I'm going to prove you wrong. That's what I do. It's like that decision you make, like, man, I'm going to do it no matter what. I'm going to prove you wrong. So that's exactly what I did. I jumped into the car and I drove from New York all the way to Atlanta for 20 hours straight. Right? It was like maybe 18 hours. All right. On the way there, I was listening to all the personal development audios without any interruption. Nobody could say, Alex, turn it off. Right? I was listening, reprogramming my mind for success. And then when I came to Atlanta, it completely changed my business. The first event, okay? And ever since then, every single event, I cannot afford not to go because every single event increases my business and my income, creates more success, creates more duplication for my team, and obviously for those people that come to the events because you cannot afford not to go there. Oh, let me drink some water. So ever since then, I committed to go to every single event, to go to every single mastermind, and that's what changed my life. That's exactly what changed my life. Last year alone, we traveled 10 times, guys. 10 times with my, my family, with my kids. I mean, we've been to Disney World. We went to Europe for my wife's birthday for 2 weeks. Traveled, rented the car, traveled like half of the Europe. Went to Kauai. Man, I'm forgetting now where we went. Las Vegas, Miami, San Francisco. I mean, it's crazy. The lifestyle you can achieve with this business is absolutely probably insane to most people that have traditional jobs, like I have, But I decided to change it. I decided that I don't want to be in that so-called comfort zone, living paycheck to paycheck. Because, hey, I'm listening to other people, And here's what Grant Cardone said today. He said, the middle class, what is the definition of middle class nightmare? It's making just enough to be grateful, but not enough to do anything in life. And this is so profound, right? This is so real. Middle class is not where you want to be. Middle class is struggling, man. Middle class is, it's not middle class of, 1970s or 1960s or 80s. Middle class is like, it's not where you want to be, right? Where you want to be is here, and you're already here, but you need to take massive action. Because it's this vehicle, this digital altitude platform, it's like that Ferrari or Lamborghini sitting in your garage, right? Just waiting to be unleashed. Just waiting for you to press the pedal to the metal, right? And all those 12 cylinders to go, to roll, right? But you need to have the right fuel, you need to have the right engine, and this is why you have coaches to guide you, to help you step by step. Some of you guys have ego. I have ego. Look, I came into this industry because I thought I was successful in a corporate job. I didn't know anything about this industry. And I thought I could make it, in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? You got to be committed to your success. You got to learn new things. You got to drop your ego. You got to check your ego at the door and learn new things. Because this is not your, your father's Ford, Pinto or something like that, or like a Chevy Camaro. No, Chevy Camaro is okay nowadays, but back in the day, you know what I'm saying? This is a Ferrari, this is a Lambo, this is Bugatti, right? You got to learn how to drive this beast, man. You got to take instructions from your coaches and put the right fuel, right? Get the right traffic, position yourself for success. That's why you see so many people succeeding here because of the coaches, because of the system. It's working. So if it's not working for you, you gotta look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself a question. Am I doing whatever it takes for my family to make it a successful venture, to change my life? And if I'm not, then maybe I should check my ego at the door and schedule the call with my coach. Maybe John Levine is your coach. I don't know. He's awesome. We go back years now, So it doesn't matter who your coach is. They all been pre-selected, by Michael Force, he's genius for creating this platform, using all his experience and expertise to create this platform for us to really take advantage of, right? To have unfair advantage, like John said early in the call. So that's pretty much it, guys. You got to take massive action. That's what it's all about. Let me see if I missed some of my notes. Let me see if I can see you guys in the chat. Unleash the beast, Sean said. Exactly. Unleash the beast, man. Shout out, man. How do you find MMEs? Well, you got to ask your coach because we got peak event coming up in 2 weeks, guys, in beautiful Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, 5-star resort. And some of you guys saw on Facebook groups, Michael Force posted something about Greece or Italy. So we're gonna have Apex event in a very nice place in Europe. So this is the company, this is the platform that's gonna change your life, gonna take you places you could never dream about. But you gotta be open to receive. You gotta be serious to take action. You got to listen to your coaches, finish all of your steps, finish your assignments and homework. Reprogram your mind for success. Start your day with personal development. Listen to something positive, man, every single morning. It's going to reprogram your mind for success. It's going to give you creative ideas to take, action on in your business. Instead of listening to negative neighbors and all the naysayers on Facebook, right? You got to be focused like a laser. Don't get distracted. And this is how you're going to succeed. It's not going to be overnight. But trust me, if you take massive action, you will not recognize where you are 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and a year from now. So this is Alex Zubarev, Alex Z. I think I'm done for tonight. I don't know if you, John, if you're listening, if you're
I
there.
sure am, Alex. This has been a very inspiring call, and I'll tell you what, you got a lot of love in the chat roll there. You want to take a few questions, comments, interact with some people here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually scrolling right now
Okay.
to see if I can find any questions.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and put us into Q&A mode. All right, everybody. So we are now in Q&A mode. If you are on the free conference call app, you can click what used to be your mute button to raise your hand, and then you'll go into the queue. Or if you're on a phone or Skype, you can always click *6 to raise your hand. We do have a couple callers in queue, Alex. We're going to go to our first one, which is Cicely. Cicely, you're live on the air. Cicely, check your mute. We're not hearing you. One more try. Cicely, you're live. And no, Cicely, we'll go into our next caller, which is Ayn, A-A-Y-N. You're live on the air. Okay, looks like a couple of people are having microphone issues today. Let me see if I can manually unmute Ayn. Let's see if that worked. All right, so that does not seem to be working. One more try for Ayn or Aaron. Okay, it's not working out. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. This is A-A-Y-N. All right, we're going to go to our next caller, which is Linda. Linda, you're live on the air.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Hooray.
Yay,
Hooray.
I'm here.
The microphone's working. All right.
All right. Alex, thank you so much. I just appreciated that to no end. My question is, where were you showing your videos when you first started them? Was it just straight up on YouTube, or was it on your own blog?
That's a great question. That's a really good question. When I decided to do whatever it takes and just not care what people are going to think about me, because that's number one thing you're going to think about when you create your videos. Hey, do I look perfect? Do I sound perfect? Will people actually pay attention, or they're gonna hate me for doing this? You gotta be emotionally detached from any outcome when it comes to doing that, when it comes to any marketing for that matter, because you never know. Everything is a test in marketing. So what I started doing, I just started putting them on my Facebook wall and my YouTube. That's all I was doing. So obviously I had my full-time job back then, but I didn't care what my coworkers would think, because they decided not to change their life. They decided that it was okay for them to be, in a cubicle for the rest of their life. So I decided to be different, right? And I didn't care if my manager would see it or my boss. I just, started doing that. And obviously, like I said, my first videos sucked. They used to laugh at me, but who's laughing now? So that's how you do it.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much. I am kind of nervous to get started, but I was listening to the call with Joshua Elder, and he was saying something like only 2% of people are really doing videos. So good for you if you're even just doing it.
Exactly. You got to do it, and that's how you're going to step out, and you're going to be head and shoulders above everybody else, because most people are going to still procrastinate. And if you decide, and this goes for everybody, you can be in the top of the income, leaderboards, whatever, if you just take consistent daily action, and you're going to become good. I guarantee you that. If you do it consistently, you're going to become better and better and better and better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Linda. And we're going to go to our next caller, which is Cicely. Is back, Cicely? Are you there? Okay, we're going to attempt to hear Cicely. Are you with us? Okay, last call on Cicely. Anybody else, if you wanted to raise your hand, now is the time to do so before we wrap up our call with Alex. We're not hearing Cicely. We're going to leave your line open here for just a minute, see what happens. Anybody else, you can go ahead and raise your hand now. I do see another caller. One last try on Cicely. No go on Cicely. Okay, we're going to go to our next caller, which is Johnny. Johnny, you're live on the air, sir.
Hi, Alex. Hello.
Hey, Johnny.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. All good.
Yeah, when you're doing your videos, do you put a link at the bottom of your videos to get people to click on them, or do you do that all, or is that too much too soon? You know, I'm a little confused on that. You know, how, where do you get, you know, at the bottom of your link, if your YouTube video for someone to click on them, if you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if I understand your question correctly, I think basically what you're asking me, is it okay for you to make a sale, to ask for a sale? Yes, it's okay. You should be doing call to action in most of your content, whether it's direct or indirect. If you're doing YouTube, obviously use description. You can also say your link, or whatever the call to action is. Hey, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Snapchat, or whatever it is. Always do a call to action. If you don't tell people what to do, they're never going to do anything. So you got to remind them, hey, if this, you can say, if this message resonates with you, you know, join me on my journey. You know, you don't have to say that you have crazy results. I never had the results when I started, right? As a matter of fact, when I started Digital Altitude, I did not even use my name. I used nickname. I used Derek Zoolander, right? Just to prove the point that the platform is working. You don't have to be anybody to make it work. But you have to be consistent and always ask for a sale, okay? So hopefully that helps.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you, Johnny. And we're going to go to our next caller, which is Machir. Is it Machir? Are you live on the air, sir?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Very good. Am I saying your name right?
Mashir Jackson.
Machir, very good. You're live,
Yeah.
Machir.
Hey, thank you. Newbie to Digital Altitude. Great to be here. Enjoying all the good information and that advice. Alex mentioned in the beginning for a newbie to stay laser focused, you know, stay committed every day. Is there any other good advice as far as navigating some do's and don'ts, or maybe some first-time newbie errors pitfalls that I can avoid?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Mashir.
Mashir. Okay.
Yes.
So here's basically a couple of things you should be doing, especially if you're a newbie, and knowing that I know now I should have been doing that from the get-go. First of all, document your success, your journey.
Okay.
Second of all, treat this as a business. Have a to-do list. Use a calendar and a to-do list. Focus on IPAs, income-producing activities, every single day. Do something extra before you go to bed, so that way you're taking one extra step every single day. Compress time. Try to compress time as much as you can, especially if you're part-time in this industry. So by compressing time, I mean listening to, for example, podcasts of this recording at double speed or triple speed, depending on how fast the person is talking, right? A lot of times your mind can comprehend a lot quicker than your ears can absorb the information. Okay, it's crazy, but that's what I used to do. Driving in the car, listening to recordings of the webinars, listening to audiobooks at double speed, right? Going to a job that I hated on a train, my laptop open, watching the webinar replay at double speed. So compressing time, having to-do list, so that way when you wake up in the morning, you're not all over the place, scattered on Facebook, wasting time on Facebook. You know exactly what you need to do. Couple of things that will take your business to the next level, right? To-do list. Focus on income-producing activities. Have a calendar and a to-do list. So hope it helps. Just do it.
Yes, I did. Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You got it, man.
All right, thank you, Mashir. We got two more callers in queue. We're going to go next to Michael in Tampa. Hey, Michael, you're live on the air.
Hi, John and Alex. This is Mike from Tampa. How you guys doing?
Good.
All right. My question is for Alex. Because the Facebook videos, especially live videos, are so important, and because of the all newbies here in, I'd like to know what we should talk about it, and how we should start actually the whole process live video or making video, what we should talk about it, in these videos. So can you give me some hints?
Yeah, sure. It's a common question. It's a great question. Most people struggle with the content. So what I would advise you to do is talk about what are you passionate about. Whatever it doesn't have to be make money from home. It doesn't have to be affiliate marketing. You could bridge anything to anything. So, for example, what are you passionate about? You're passionate about, I don't know, grooming dogs, or maybe swimming, or maybe baseball. Whatever you're passionate about, you talk about it, all right? And then, for example, say you love to surf. You want to retire and live somewhere in Bali and surf the waves every single day while making money. Well, you talk about the dream. You talk about the journey, and then say, hey, if this resonates with you, this is what I want you to do next. Click on the link below and watch the video that changed my mindset and allowed me to, get closer to my goals, right? So basically the formula is like this. It's like 3-step formula. This is what I am. This is who I am. This is where I am right now in life. This is what I decided. Step number 2, this is what I decided to do. This is where I'm going. This is the direction that I decided to go to. And the step number 3 is join me. Join me on my journey. If this message resonates with you, here's the link below. Click on the link below and join me on my journey. So hopefully that helps you.
Amazing, Alex. Thank you very much. That was very helpful. And
yeah, you got it, man. You're welcome.
All right, we got one more in queue. Let's next go to Nick in Indiana. Nick, you're live on the air.
Hey, John. Thanks for having me.
You are welcome.
Thanks, Alex, thanks for sharing. I didn't have so much a question. You kind of answered them all, but I just wanted to thank John for hosting these each week, and you, Alex, for coming on and sharing your story. I related to it a lot. I've tried many things throughout the years. Talked to my family. They had tried them. They knew someone had tried them. You've heard it before. Oh, I knew X and X that did that, and they didn't make any money. So it's fun hearing somebody else who's gone through the same things, even though they're not fun at the time. But knowing that someone else has been there, they've had the battle, they've had the victories, and just being able to get that little pump up each week, knowing that, all right, they did it. I know I can. So I just wanted to say thanks for coming on and sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. I mean, you got to realize one thing. If I can do it, so can you. You just have to be consistent and take massive action every day and don't get distracted. And you're going to be seeing the progress along the way. How long will it take? I cannot answer that question, but if you never quit on your dreams, you will achieve it.
Absolutely.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Nick. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up Q&A. Thank you, Alex, for everything you've done here today on our Black Diamond call, and we really appreciate you, especially, I'm going to say that I personally appreciate you because you show up and you deliver, and you've just been a great asset to so many people here inside the, not only your Project Apex team, but here throughout the entire Digital Altitude community. So thank you, my friend. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you and your wife and everybody else joining us at the Peak event in just a couple of weeks in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. So excited about that. Any closing comments from you today, sir?
Yes, John. Thanks for having me. I'm happy I could deliver today some value for our community and to inspire people to take massive action. And hopefully, there's going to be probably 1 or 2 people that make decisions today and join us maybe in Punta Cana. I don't know if the tickets are still available. I don't know if the rooms are still available. But you know what? I'm crazy enough to think that it's possible for you as well if you really make a decision and speak to your coach. So I can't wait to see you, John, and Shannon in 2 weeks from now in Punta Cana, and see everybody at the next event.
Awesome stuff. All right, thanks again, everybody, for joining us, and of course, we will see you back here next week and tomorrow morning on our wake-up call with Joel. So we'll see you there. Have a great night in the meantime, because you absolutely deserve it. Bye for now.